Welcome to Eternal Vault, where history, science, and philosophy meet to uncover stories that shape our world. Today we explore one of the most recurring yet ignored truths of human civilization. Whenever humans have tried to bend nature entirely to their will, the consequences have been catastrophic. Across continents and centuries, from China's Sparrow Campaign to Australia's cane toad disaster, from the potato famine in Ireland to the extinction of the dodo in Mauritius, and even modern dilemmas like India's stray dog crisis, the lesson has remained the same. Nature is not our enemy, but neither will it bow to reckless human ambition. This script will take you on a journey of more than 10,000 words, examining historical blunders, ecological disasters, forgotten lessons, and the deeper philosophical struggle of humankind against the very forces that keep it alive. So sit back, listen carefully, and let us dive deep into the untold chronicles of how humanity's war with nature always ends in defeat. In the late 1950s, Mao Zedong launched the infamous Four Pests campaign. The goal? To eliminate sparrows, flies, mosquitoes, and rats. Of all targets, the most disastrous was the Eurasian tree sparrow. Mao believed sparrows ate too much grain, depriving the people. Across villages, people banged pots and pans, waved flags, and shot sparrows down. Entire nests were destroyed, eggs smashed, chicks killed. By 1960, sparrows had almost vanished. But nature had its revenge. Sparrows didn't just eat grain. They consumed vast numbers of locusts and crop-eating insects. With sparrows gone, locust populations exploded. Fields that were supposed to yield more grain turned into wastelands of devoured crops. The ecological collapse contributed directly to the Great Chinese Famine, where an estimated 30–40 million people died between 1959 and 1961. It is one of history's most brutal reminders. When humans remove one cog from nature's machinery, the entire system collapses. Australia provides perhaps the most infamous examples of ecological mismanagement. In 1859, a wealthy settler named Thomas Austin imported just 24 rabbits for hunting. Within decades, with no natural predators and abundant food, the rabbit population soared into the hundreds of millions. They ate crops, stripped grasslands, and caused massive soil erosion. Farmers were ruined, ecosystems devastated. Even when fences stretching thousands of kilometers were built, rabbits always found a way through. But Australia's troubles didn't stop there. In 1935, to control beetles attacking sugarcane, officials imported cane toads from South America. The toads multiplied explosively, spreading across Queensland and beyond. They poisoned native predators, devoured insects indiscriminately, and became unstoppable. Ironically, they barely affected the beetles they were meant to kill. Instead, they became a new plague. Slimy, toxic, and virtually eternal. Australia learned the hard way. Importing species without understanding ecosystems is like playing chess blindfolded against nature. You will always lose. Unlike the disasters we just explored, the story of Yellowstone National Park in the US shows what happens when we restore balance instead of destroying it. By the early 20th century, wolves had been exterminated from Yellowstone. Ranchers and hunters saw them as threats to livestock and deer populations. Without wolves, elk populations exploded. They overgrazed young trees and plants, riverbanks eroded, beavers declined, and the entire ecosystem suffered. In 1995, wolves were reintroduced. Within years, balance began to return. Elk numbers fell to sustainable levels. Willow and aspen regrew, beavers returned, rivers stabilized, and biodiversity flourished again. This story is proof that sometimes the solution to ecological chaos isn't domination. It's humility and letting nature heal itself. Now we travel back to 19th century Europe. In Ireland, millions depended almost entirely on the potato for survival. It was cheap, nutritious, and easy to grow. But dependence on a single crop is always dangerous. In the 1840s, a fungal disease known as Phytophthora infestans, potato blight, struck the fields. Within weeks, entire harvests rotted into black mush. From 1845 to 1852, the famine killed over 1 million people and forced another million to emigrate. The tragedy wasn't just biological, it was political. Ireland was under British rule, and while its people starved, grain exports continued to leave Irish ports for England. The famine teaches us two lessons. First, never place survival in the hands of a single crop or single solution. Second, human greed often worsens natural crises. In the Indian Ocean, on the island of Mauritius, lived the now legendary dodo bird. Large, flightless, and unafraid of humans, it was first encountered by Dutch sailors in the 16th century. The dodo had no natural predators, But with sailors came rats, pigs, and monkeys who raided nests, ate eggs, and destroyed habitats. Within less than a century, the dodo was gone forever, extinct by the late 1600s. The dodo became more than a bird. It became a symbol of human arrogance. Its extinction marked one of the earliest cases where humans realized they could erase an entire species from existence simply through carelessness. Today, when we speak of endangered species, climate threats, and biodiversity loss, the dodo remains a haunting reminder: what is lost may never return. Moving closer to home, let us examine India's stray dog crisis. India has one of the largest stray dog populations in the world, over 60 million by some estimates. This issue has deep historical roots. When British colonial authorities encouraged urban growth, waste disposal became chaotic, providing dogs with endless food scraps. After independence, sterilization programs remained underfunded, while rapid urbanization created spaces where dogs thrived. On one side, strays spread rabies, causing thousands of deaths annually. They attacked pedestrians, cyclists, and children. On the other hand, animal rights activists argue dogs have a right to live, and often communities feed them. It has become a moral, medical, and ecological dilemma. Should we cull them, sterilize them, adopt them? Or is the real solution in fixing human waste management and urban planning? India's stray dogs symbolize a larger truth. When humans fail to manage environments responsibly, conflict with nature manifests right in our streets. Beyond these famous cases, the world is full of cautionary tales. Hawaii's invasive mongoose, introduced to control rats in sugarcane fields. Instead, mongooses hunted native birds while rats continued thriving. New Zealand's flightless birds. When humans arrived with cats, stoats, and possums, dozens of unique bird species disappeared. African locust plagues, deforestation, and poor land management have repeatedly created locust swarms that devastate crops across East Africa. Aral Sea disaster. Soviet irrigation projects drained rivers feeding the Aral Sea, once the world's fourth largest lake. Today it is a desert wasteland, a monument to human arrogance. Each example proves a single point. Nature resists domination. Every artificial shortcut creates ripple effects that often last centuries. What do these stories teach us? Beyond facts and tragedies, they reveal deep truths about our relationship with the planet. Interconnectedness. Every creature, from sparrows to wolves, plays a role in the ecosystem. Remove one, and you destabilize the whole. Humility. Human intelligence is vast, but nature's intelligence is greater. We must act as stewards, not conquerors. Diversity is survival. Monocultures, whether potatoes in Ireland or reliance on fossil fuels today, always end in collapse. Diversity is resilience. Greed magnifies disaster. Many crises, from Ireland's famine to India's strays, are worsened not by nature but by human indifference and exploitation. Coexistence, not conquest. True progress lies in coexisting with natural systems, not waging war against them. These lessons are as much philosophical as environmental. They challenge the very core of human civilization. Are we masters of Earth, or temporary guests? If history has a voice, it whispers a warning. Every time humans fight nature, humans lose. China's sparrows, Australia's rabbits, Yellowstone's wolves, Ireland's famine, Mauritius's dodo, India's stray dogs, all point to a singular truth. We must work with nature, not against it. The arrogance of dominance leads to extinction, famine, and chaos. The wisdom of humility leads to balance, survival, and renewal. So, as we stand in an era of climate change, mass extinctions, and global ecological crises, the question remains, will humanity finally learn? Or will we repeat the mistakes carved into the bones of sparrows, potatoes, dodos, and stray dogs? This is Infinite Archive, reminding you that the archive of history is infinite, but our time to learn from it is not. Thank you for listening, and remember, the war against nature is not only unwinnable, it is a war against ourselves.